Hello guys, this is Van here. I want to do one kind of different video today. I want to give an opinion on every 2 and 3 5-star fire monsters. A deep analysis of each one of them, so you guys have an idea if you are beginning or not. If you are medium game, early or late, I think this video will help you. I think I made too much Guild War videos. I can keep making more, but I think you guys already know how I play, so I try making new content. I think no one did this so far or not, and I don't know. I don't watch other stream or other YouTubers of Summoner Wars, so I will begin now. Let's start with Awakened units because I can explain better. Like, they already have our skills, so it will be better to show you guys. We'll start with this guy. I think he's funny. I think he has a cohesive skill set. Like, I like these two skills. Level it up, they get a lot of chance to strike the enemy. He even has a lead, but he made good beginning, but he can be discarded later because he still have bad stats, base stats. So that's it. He's just early game unit with a good lead, I think. Maybe interesting using him if you have nothing, but not too late game. This guy, I think he has, well, I think his skill set doesn't scale to late game because it's just a bunch of debuffs. It's just nothing is special about this guy. I wouldn't grow on his food. This one, even though the skills seems tempted, like you think you do a lot of damage, but you need to prepare, like do a lot of dots before, and still her base stats aren't that good. So what monster to justify then using for late game, they must have like a very good skills, very unique skill set, with most of monsters don't have, like these 3 ones we showed earlier. This guy, I think this skill makes him a very great fire tank, but the problem is there aren't much water monsters out there to tank. So most of all, you won't need much a fire tank unless you tank Camillus, which we will explain on later videos, that you can use other monsters for that. But I think he actually make a very great tank. Look at the skill. He creates a shield of 50% of his mate's HP and he covers. He can be a good soloer. He can tank, do a lot of damage because his skills scale with max HP. I think he's a very interesting monster. Like, if you're beginning and want to grow on a fire tank, I think out of most of the even 3-star units, he's one of the best one, HP based fire tank, because I think he has a very nice skill set and he very tanky. He has a very cohesive skill set. Now this monster, Siak, he's used still on late game, but as a support, like with this skill being his principal one. This skill helps he do that actually a lot of damage, but since he's so squishy, he's discarded by many players. Well, I think honestly, just keep him if you wanna use him like a combo for arena, and he has some nice damage too. If you're gonna keep it or not, it depends on how do you plan to use him. I think mostly. And yeah, and like I said, he has some pretty strong single target damage, so you can use him even on Guild War as long as he's protected. This monster, I think he has actually a great first skill, great second skill for a raid. He would be nice, but his third skill is lame. It's just bad. It makes him actually lose his potential, and his base stats still doesn't help. Like, I think this third skill, usually it's not easy to use this properly, and most times it won't be. So I think this skill is what makes the monster food, because skill 1 and 2 making a good monster. This monster, I think I don't like his skill set. He does a good damage with first one, his second does good for bosses, but his third, like if you are new on this game, you won't have enough critical rate to use of this skill, so just food. This monster would be interesting if he had a higher base speed, and if this second skill wasn't so trash, because his third skill is like Bernard. So these are why this monster isn't used. Oops. Call it. No, this monster is just a goddess. She's like very core for the For rage, every player like must have this monster because she's very replaceable. This monster is, I think, out of all the 2 stars of fire monsters, this is the most important. Like, pay attention. This is like the most important 2-star fire monster. Um, so yes, it's a must. Every player, earlier or later, will have to grow this one. Now this monster, I think this is food because I don't like his heal is good, but this heal, blah, it's just bad. You won't need this. He doesn't have a cohesive skill set and bad stats, base stats. Okay, so let's make again a overall review. I think of all these 2 monsters, I think the most important are this one, Siek, used on late game too, as a support, or can be used as single target damage, and Colin, because she's used on NECROPOLIS, she's used on raids. So I think these 2 are the most important, and my third guy I would eventually use would be this monster as a fire tank, because I really like this skill. I really like his damage, low cooldown skills, and his capacity of tanking. So out of these two-star monsters, I think these 2 are the most important. This one, and just eventually this if you're gonna use this, or if you want, don't bother with him. Okay, so let's start now with the 3-star monsters, which can take a longer time. I may have to split this video in 2, so no problem, guys. Let's start now with this monster, Iselia. I think this skill one isn't good. This could make her a good AoE. She has a critical rate bonus, but the problem with her is, I think there are better AoE monsters. I think if you're looking for a 3-star damager monster, there will be better ones. She could, yeah, honestly, she could be even good for raid, but I think there are better options. But actually, she's a good monster for raid. This monster now. I think this is a great monster for raid because she can offer leadership for area fire monsters. She has a multi-target second skill, a multi-target third skill with 6 hits in total, and his first one do 2 hits. So I think this is a great monster, like a very great monster for raids. If you're looking to make a purifier team, I think this monster it really fills the spot. She may look a bit squishy, so you actually have to put maybe some defensive runes on her so she won't die. I think the main thing about this monster would be raid, because she looks great. Let's start other monster, raoq. I think a lot of people like this monster, and I can see why. Like with this passive, you can keep hitting. For SDs, like you will kill one monster, kill other. This monster will just clean up everything. His second skill is actually useful. And this first one can deal serious damage with consecutive hits and then get extra turns. I think this monster is good. If he's worth going to 6 stars to late game, I think 2. Because he can be a good raid monster paired with, example, her lead. Then you use raoq and other monsters. So you guys have an idea, this monster is good for SD, this monster I think is good for raid. And this is it, these are the main things. For PvP he will be good too for a time until he can be replaced, I think. So I like this monster too, he's very good. Now this monster I think he's mostly food because he's a support, but his damage doesn't scale with defense, just neither HP. Actually, I think you guys just can find better options. I don't have much to say. Food monster. This one too, food monster, because her skill, like this skill isn't good. Like she doesn't do anything special. Okay, leader for arena, but blah, just bad monster overall. No potential here. This too bad monster because even though he gets a good accuracy bonus, his second skill is very bad. His third skill so is awful. Actually, just his first skill is good, but no reason to use him. Now this monster, he's special. He's used on Toa, hard level 100. Like this is a very good used monster too on dragons. So I honestly think this monster should be grown like earlier or later. on the game by every player, because this skill does serious damage on bosses. This skill helps like on Dragon 10 to slow the side towers, so you can go directly to the boss. And he does damage scaled with his own speed, so I think he's a great monster. Everyone will grow him earlier or later, he will be a core monster. Now this monster, if he can be used, actually he has a pretty nice damage for AoE. 2 AoEs. First skill give him attack bar. So I think if you do some kind of AoE damage and you need a fire monster, this is the guy you will want. But he needs to one-shot everyone because he's squishy or need to be protected. But I think he has the strongest AoE of the 3-star monsters. So he may be good if he attends your purpose, like if you need a AoE fire damage. Now this monster I think is one of the greatest 3-star fire, mostly because this skill, Ignore Defense, is one of the best things on this game. Because it doesn't evolve a luck, it just evolves your runes. And her third skill is actually a very good, nice support. She even has a lead to help her on achieving like 100 critical rate. So I think this monster is very worth if you're looking for. Now this monster I think is food, because well, not good, not what you're looking for. Just food, like his skills doesn't do anything special. This monster, he can be used to like a fire tank, like I said before. But the thing about we compare this monster with this monster, I think it would be stacked with Tantra, because this monster, okay, he heals himself, but and the recover heals are increased. But well, I think that monster is easier to max kill, and his skill like make him more tankier than this one overall. Well, this is my opinion. I prefer that monster instead Garrosh, because I think there are better werewolves, and this monster is easy to max kill. And this monster second skill damage is only 2 turns cooldown instead. This one is 3, so he do more damage over time too. I think it's my personal preference. I prefer this one if you're looking for a fire tank. Now this monster, he was useful before, but now he's mostly food, because his skill, this one, won't be used a lot on dungeons. Like just maybe 1 or 2 dungeons, but not overall. He's not worth to leaving too late game. Don't lose your time. This monster it's interesting because it has a speed lead, but I think there are other monsters with speed lead that you guys will need. But actually she has a pretty nice single target damage, but she doesn't do much than that. Like I think you guys will find better options, but she's not a bad monster at all. This monster is food, like not much to say. First skill stun, okay. Second skill counter attacks, but the thing is, if this monster, if you're going for a critical monster, counter attack, I mean, it means that she has to be tanky, otherwise she will die. So, and I don't like her third skill, because you will need accuracy to land the stuns and accuracy to land the attack bar to 0. I just don't like this monster. I think there are better options. This one, I think he can be used like a fire tank too, but the thing is he isn't self-sustaining like this monster. This monster has a very strong buff and real. But this monster, well, he will need another target, but he do way more damage than him. He can defense break, he can have a self-defense buff. So I think he may worth to giving a try to if you're looking for a fire tank, because he can be easily max skill too. And these 2 skills, they are great, in my opinion. So if you're looking for a fire tank, like using either one of these 2, because honestly, I think you won't need like very much a fire tank, but these 2 guys, I think they are the best, in my opinion. Now, if you ask me who is the best, honestly, I think it depends, but because this monster, you need someone healing him, because he doesn't have heals. Now, this one have heals, but this one deals more damage. So I think this monster is still slightly better. Slightly, because better base stats. Better, he has defense break. He has even a defense buff on himself. But like I said, it's relative. Depends on you guys if what you're seeking. But this is my opinion. And his monster can be used on defense too, because his damage scale with his HP, and he has a very high damage. So this is my opinions about this monster. I think he's good for defense, maybe. Now, when I talk about this monster, I don't mean like he can be used for a D. I mean like for some offenses and using his as a fire tank to tank some water monster. Okay, I will stop on this guy. I will make another video because already to be too long. So that's it. We will keep the next video. So pay attention, guys, and see ya.